So why do we recruit? Overrides. There's commission, and then there's overrides. Commissions is active income. Override is passive income. So if you recruit and you develop people, it's not like a pyramid where you just recruit people and all of a sudden they're paying money and you make money. It's not one of those. It's you put months into someone to help develop them, but that months-long investment can turn into 20 years of overrides. So anytime I'm doing things, I ask myself, am I spending time or am I investing time? I didn't post, but yesterday I closed a 300,000 annuity, right? These are people that just call me. It takes very little effort. I make 10,000 off that, right? But that's just time spent. Whatever, a couple hours here and there, I get that 10 grand in exchange for that time, and that time is gone. But right now, I have a new girl that's in Shaq's op right now, and she's already licensed. And I've mentally prepared to invest 3-4 months into her. That's an investment, because an investment, what happens? You put money into something or you put time into something and you expect a greater return, a much greater return in the future, maybe in perpetuity. That means forever. Recruiting is an investment of your time. That time you are going to get back in the form of other things. So let's go through this. We've already been through some of these. Prospecting. This is the number one skill that you have to learn in business. Prospecting, talking to people with a purpose, turning a conversation into something that's going to help you grow your business. One thing I have become, and I teach other people, and a lot of people in here now are even better than me, is in this room, we have master prospectors. I go to dinner parties and there's big time business owners, there's lawyers, there's physicians, and they're asking me if I'm willing to sit down with them. They don't know. Of course I'm willing to sit down with you, right? But the way that I posture myself, the way I can prospect indirect, these are all the things that we're going to be teaching you. But here's the thing. Hesitation can kill you. What does that mean? You see somebody sharp, someone refers you to someone, you get an idea of a new way to get people, get clients, get recruits. Don't hesitate. Hesitation will kill you. Just act. You know, one of the ways that I was taught to overcome this one objection, how many times people say, hey, I'm going to think about it. Well, Sheila, this is what I usually say back. Usually when we think about things, do we think ourselves into things or out of things? Out. That's what hesitation does. The longer you wait, the more excuses you'll think of. I'll do it tomorrow. Or nah, that person's not going to be interested. I'm sure they'll say no. You got to act fast. Start while your enthusiasm is high. That's why after these meetings, we like to set appointments. Your enthusiasm is high. Your belief is very high. It's the best time. That's why if you have a schedule where you're making multiple calls a day or booking multiple appointments or talking to multiple prospects, as you get through the first, second, third, fourth, right, you become more motivated. But that's why you got to act quickly. So then you can use that motivation to go and get the next one. There's a shelf life on inspiration and excitement. Use it or lose it. So this applies to us and it applies to people that we hire. If I hire, your name is Mateo? Sure. If I hire Mateo, I know what? His excitement has a shelf life. Today he's excited. Today he wants to get licensed. Today he wants to do the business. If I don't show him results within a reasonable amount of time, what happens to that excitement? It starts to go down. And the doubt takes over, right? As human beings in our psyche, we're always balancing belief with doubt, belief with fear. We got to try to overcome that. As you get better, you'll help people reduce doubt, reduce fear, increase confidence. So we have to act when we're excited, but we also have to help other people act and show them results when they're excited. The first step is the hardest. Stumble forward. Stumble forward. No one's saying it's going to be easy. You're never going to feel like it's natural to just walk up to someone, to ask someone for a favor, to call someone sometimes out of the blue, to send that text message asking for a favor. It'll become natural when you're kind of in your flow, but it is meant to be uncomfortable, and the winners overcome that discomfort. So if you're waiting for things to get easy, that day is never going to happen, and you're going to hesitate. You're going to talk yourself out of it. Start now, or you won't be here later. Start now. Your belief is high. There's so many examples of people winning. Start recruiting now. Start setting appointments now. Start studying now. Because if you delay, most likely you're not going to be here. Don't stop when everyone doesn't say yes. A no today may be a yes tomorrow. Just basic stuff for our new people. Don't take it personally. It's a numbers game. So here's what happens when you're new. And even some of us, we kind of get back to thinking like this, right? We start to take it personally. If someone says no to coming to the office, we say, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with the company? If someone says no to setting an appointment, we say, what's wrong with the company? What's wrong with me? As soon as you can separate yourself from their answer and just look at that person, in a sense, like a number, that's how you are going to be able to get through and get the results that you want to get. With everyone I've ever trained, they always come to a point, Annette, where they say this to me. They say, I just don't care anymore. How many times have you said that, Sheila? This is what they're talking about. I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. I'm going to message people on social media. I'm going to tell everyone I know. I'm going to ask everyone for an appointment. I'm going to follow up with them until they say stop. I don't care what people think. Right? This is what they're talking about. When you start taking things personally, it's not just Primerica. Any business, you're not going to be successful. You cannot take it personal. You have to understand the ratios. I mean, you got to ask how many people can possibly say no to something like this? I just got to keep going, keep going, keep going. And sometimes it's the people you least expect. The ones who hear the most no's also hear the most yeses. So what do amateurs think? Amateurs think the winners, everybody's saying yes. People think everybody's saying yes to me. No, they're not. It doesn't matter how much money I make, what car I drive, what watch I wear, what clothes I wear, whatever. If I'm in the front of the room, I got to run the same exact numbers that you guys got to run. This girl that's here today, I've been communicating with her for 2 years. So whatever you don't like to hear as an amateur, hey, the winners, they're hearing the same stuff, if not worse, even more often. You had a cancellation on a policy? Sheila's got 5 more than you. Maybe not in that area. Even lions and polar bears fail on 9 out of 10 hunts. Basic stuff, right? It's just a matter of finding the right person at the right time. You won't know until you ask. Anisha got this big sale yesterday from her cousins. And you know why she got it? Because she's helping them buy a new house, which is a little bit out of their budget. And so the husband got prospected by an insurance company that sells IULs. So Anisha had to talk them out of it. And then they bought insurance from her. And then maybe they'll become recruits as well. But maybe she should have asked a long time ago. Obviously, he was open. Frustration is the fuel of growth. Confusion is the beginning of clarity. Hey, frustration is always going to be there. First, it's like, man, I just need one person. Then you have 5 people and you're frustrated because no one's doing anything. Then you have 10 people and you're like, why are only 2 people doing something? Then you have 20 people doing something, but your competitors have 50 people doing something. There's frustration is a part of life, man. That's what's going to get you from one level to the next. If you're completely content, completely happy, completely everything, then why are you going to force yourself to grow? Confusion. It took me, someone told me when I joined, they said, it'll take you 18 months of being full-time before you really understand this business. Other people say you have to be in the business 3 years before you really understand. And I used to hear that all the time. I used to hear at 3 months, I'd be like, I get it. I don't know what they're talking about. And then 6 months, I'd be like, oh, now I get it. And then a year, and then a year and a half. At 3 years, I was like, I get it now. So when you come to the meetings, when you involve yourself, right, that confusion, it turns to clarity. And then you can act. They can't all say no, right? That's kind of a positive affirmation. Recruiting is not something, it's not a sometime thing, it's an all the time thing. Like if you talk to someone like Josh, right? This is all he thinks about. He wants a huge licensed agency. It's just a little something that we say. If you talk recruiting 100% of the time, you can grow fast. If you talk recruiting 99% of the time, growth falls in half. If you talk recruiting 98% of the time, it stops. Big time recruiting is a momentum process. Keep it going. What does this mean? It means that, Matt, do you have anyone here at the meeting? You got one person here? So Matt has one person here. What's his name? Seth. That's my brother's name, right? So Matt brings Seth. Seth is excited. On Wednesday, we have another opportunity meeting. Matt has another guy named John, and Seth brings Chris. Now there's 4 people. Now those 4 people are excited, and they decide to each have 2 people at the next meeting, right? So that 4 creates 8, plus the 4 come. Now you have 12. You build on the momentum. Recruiting happens in bunches. It's not, I recruit one person now, and 4 months from now, I'll recruit one other person. You got to build the momentum. Everyone in the target market is either a current recruit or a future recruit. This is a mindset that you got to have. Someone says, hey, for right now, I'm just going to be a client. Someone else says, yeah, I want to join your team. But then what happens? Sheila, 10 years later, says, hey, now I want to be a recruit. Future recruit. When I was intensely building my business in the early years, every single person I met, I categorized them into recruit or client. And if they didn't fit into either, I didn't have time for it. Even if I'm dating someone, you're going to introduce me to your parents, you're going to introduce me to your friends, you're going to go through your whole cell phone, you're going to give me a list. Like I just didn't have time. Every single person in my life was either going to be a recruit or a client or both. The best recruits are friends. Use your friend network to find great prospects. Essentially, this is what Primerica is meant to be. It's meant to be us, it's a warm market business. And the problem is the mistake that people make, they think that the warm market is something that's static. what that means is that it's fixed.
Yeah.
So, hey, here's my list. These are the 25 people that I know. People always ask, what happens after I run out? Part of what Primerica is being a professional friend maker. Growing up, I had 3 friends. And it was very difficult for anyone to get into our group. We're very exclusive. Well, when we all came into Primerica together, what did we realize? Exclusivity is not going to help us build a big team. We had to be more inclusive. And we started allowing people in that in our previous lives we'd never spent time with. But that's how you build a business, right? And we became more open-minded. And we started going to different places. And I started opening my mouth more and being more friendly and being more approachable and me initiating conversations. If you know me, I don't do that, but for business, I will. You know, I always ask my full-timers, when was the last time you met someone new that you could take out to lunch or you could take out to dinner, a new friend? How can a year go by, you don't have 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 new friends? That's how Primerica is built, man. It's a lot easier for people to get to know you and then want to join you than you just walking up to them off the street. Now, I recruited everybody off the street, and that's fine, right? But it's a lot easier if you can use your warm market. I know a guy who knows a guy. That's how our business works, right? Seth is here today. Maybe he doesn't want to do it. He knows Chris. Chris comes in. He wants to do it. Then Chris knows John. Then we get John. That's how we do the business. Maybe it's not Mateo, but Mateo knows somebody in the 100 people that he knows, and I'm going to get to one of them. I don't just look at you, I look through you. That's the mindset. In all businesses, the best jobs go to friends or friends of friends. All business works like that. Keep expanding your friend network so you have a big pool of friends to potentially recruit. I think the best example of that is Sheila. She'll join a volleyball team. Her husband will join a basketball team. Then she'll force him to join a different league. Right? Then she'll start a different Facebook group targeting a different type of person, driving all around, doing all this stuff. But then we wonder, how does she always do 10 to 15 sales a month and make that kind of money? So you got to keep expanding your friend network. Why friends? If you don't want them as a friend, you don't want them as a recruit. Think about that. If this is not someone you'd want to get a meal with or have a little conversation with or hang out with once in a while, then why would I want them in my business? We recruit good people, right? And we teach them sales, not the other way around. Don't let duds slow you down. People who don't believe in what you do don't make good recruits. What does that mean? Here's one signal that I've gotten from people, which, to me is a red flag. Like if I recruit you and you're married and then you just don't buy the insurance and you're giving me BS excuses, but you want to get licensed and join our company, I'm thinking like, how would this work? Yeah. Because now every client is going to do that to you. And if you have any integrity, you're going to say, man, I think like this too. And people are going to walk all over you. Or you are fake and you're going to convince them to get something that you didn't do for your own family. The easy sales are the ones who are going to be the better recruits. Sheila was an easy sale. Because what? They're like, of course I need this. I have 2 kids, right? I'm married. Of course I need life insurance. And then you're going to have that mindset when you go and get the license. Of course they need it. But if you're making excuses, you're going to expect other people to make excuses. So that's a big test, man. There's no point of recruiting people who don't believe in the products. Phonies who just want to make money just waste your time. Look, I love making money, but this Primerica is a different animal. We're a very ethical company. We don't give people 100% contracts right away. You have to build, you have to grow, you have to develop. Even recruiting is something that doesn't pay you right away. It's a delayed effect. People don't like that about Primerica. They want to go into a pure sales business. They just want to make money. And then they wonder why we only sell term and why we don't offer everything. These are not, that's why I don't like recruiting other insurance agents usually. Because we have to unwind all of that. No one will be successful if they don't believe in your services and just want to make money. So we just talked about that. To succeed, recruits must believe and get excited about what they do. They must see the value. They must see how important it is. The best recruits will be from the pool of people who want, need, and can afford your products. Now look, some of you guys are really young in here. I started very young in here. I started at 22. I was making 12 bucks an hour. But immediately I had a little $25 going into my investment. I had a $30 a month life insurance policy for $150,000. So it wasn't a lot, but I felt a lot more confident that I could sit in front of a client who was much older than me and say, I own these products. It at least gave me a little more confidence than just the average 22-year-old trying to do financial services. So if you don't have the products, you got to kind of question, this isn't one of those other companies where you're getting a box of vitamins that's going to sit in your garage. And I'm like, oh, why aren't you buying the products? This is your financial future. This is your investment future. This is your retirement. This is an expression of your financial knowledge, your financial education. You got to get insurance. You got to get investment. And, you know, we don't make any money on your little $20, $30 policy, by the way, or your $25 a month investment. That's charity, right? So the people that buy the products, they're going to be better recruits. Only, I like this, only make exceptions 1 or 2 times out of 10. Occasionally, a long shot pays off. Occasionally. You can make exceptions, but if everyone on your team is an exception, then you're stretching. You're not going to win that way. You got to get more qualified people. Prospect with questions. This is big. Start with a question, then listen. Hey, have you ever thought of doing something different? Are you open-minded? That's a question. Are you planning on staying with your current position your whole life? These are great questions. I know you love your job, but if there was one thing that could make it better, what would it be? Amazing question. Hey, do you love what you do? Yeah. Well, if you could change one thing, what would it be? What would make your job even better? Well, if I could determine my own schedule, make more money, be my own boss, be in a leadership position, be in something where I could help other people. What are they describing? Our business. When you make statements, it's easy for people to find something to argue with. They can't argue with a question. If you start arguing with them, you'll never recruit them. Always ask questions. Sometimes based on the way they answer the question, I don't even have to go through the recruiting process, right? Because you're just saying all the wrong things. I'm like, hey, nice to meet you. Right? I have a book in my backpack. I'm going to read out of it real quick. The power of belief. I think that that's one of the biggest things that Primerica offers is that it challenges people's beliefs. It challenges, people's beliefs about money, beliefs about themselves, beliefs about the world, beliefs about other people, beliefs about business owners. When you're in a group like this, I think that's the healthiest thing that we provide. So this is a book called $1 Million Habits by Brian Tracy. Great book. He says, the next law I discovered was the law of belief. This is the basic principle that underlies most religions, psychology, philosophy, and metaphysics. The law says, whatever you believe with conviction becomes your reality. That's why it's really important to inspect our beliefs and make sure that those are the ones that we want to go with, because that's what's going to determine how your life turns out. Whatever you believe with conviction becomes your reality. In the New Testament, Jesus says, according to your faith, be it unto you. In the Old Testament, it says, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. A professor wrote in 1895, believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. The fact is, you do not believe what you see, but rather you see what you already believe. Your deeply held beliefs distort your worldview and cause you to see things not the way they are, but the way you are. So what this is saying is that we're all experiencing life, but our beliefs kind of have a filter in front of us, and it affects the way that we see the world. This is the part I wanted you guys to hear. The worst of all beliefs are self-limiting beliefs. These are beliefs that you have developed throughout your life, usually false, that cause you to believe you are limited in some way. Your negative beliefs soon become a habitual way of thinking. You may believe you lack intelligence, creativity, personality, the ability to publicly speak, the ability to earn a high income, the ability to lose weight, the ability to achieve your goals. As a result of your self-limiting beliefs, you continually sell yourself short. You give up easily in the pursuit of a goal. And even worse, you tell other people around you that you lack certain qualities or abilities. No, I can't do Primerica. I'm just not good at talking to people. You don't believe it, then you believe this, and then it becomes true, and it just becomes fact in your life, and that's the reality that you live. You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. In developing $1 Million Habits, one of the most important steps you can take is to challenge your self-limiting beliefs. You will begin this process by imagining that you have no limitations at all. When you develop your mind to the point where you absolutely believe that you can do anything you put your mind to, you will find a way to make that belief a reality. As a result, your whole life will change. As we will discuss later, beliefs are the hardest things of all to change, but there's good news. All beliefs are learned, and anything that has been learned can be unlearned. So you can unlearn your bad beliefs. You can develop the beliefs of courage, confidence, unstoppable persistence that you need for great success by reprogramming your subconscious mind in a specific way. So we'll end with that, but that is one of the intangibles that you get. That's why people, even if they're not producers, they like coming to Primerica. They like continuously coming to meetings. They come to all the big events because at a very minimum, they feel better about themselves and they gain new beliefs. And maybe one of those beliefs will help them succeed in this business, but if not, the rest of your life, okay? So we're gonna end now. And this is the thing, for the setup, this setup right here, we have to keep it the way it is for the next group that's coming in. We don't want to go on that side. We want to stay on this side. We'll keep it a little down until Shaq ends his meeting, which should be soon. And the name of the game right now, man, is setting appointments for this week as we go into the third week of the month and making sure that we have all of our guests confirmed. They have tickets, hotel rooms, and everything for the big event.
Can you talk about how Shaq got you to the big event and what that did for you?
Yeah. So Shaq was trying to recruit me